So let's start with the course details. Okay, why we all are here. Why this course is going to stand out, because I'm seeing a lot of different courses around. Okay, on YouTube and so many places, so many trainers are there. But why did this course will be different from that course? Different from all those courses in a way how I have actually got into DevOps. So I was into a different profile for the first 7 years of my career. So I switched to DevOps after 7 years. Okay, so I know how hard it is to switch to DevOps and what it takes if you are working in a different domain to get into DevOps. Okay, so I'm going to share all my experience related to that. Apart from that, in the last 4 years, I've been able to triple my CTC just because of DevOps. Okay, and when I've been able to switch couple of times, and when I've been working permanent work from home from the last 5 years. So I'm going to give you some details into how you can target a remote job as well. Okay, if you want it. If you don't want to go to office, I'm going to give you some tips related to that as well. I think that's also one of the aspects that the people are looking for. They want to work from home, right? So I'm going to give you some tips into that as well. Then I'm going to tell you the exact path that I followed. Okay, because it worked for me, so I assume it's going to work for you as well. So whatever learning path I followed, whatever things I did to switch my career to DevOps, I'm going to share all the details in this course. Next, since I've been working with multiple companies now, because I've switched my job recently. It's been like 7 months in this company. Before this, I was into another company. I was into the same role. I was a DevOps engineer in my previous organization. Now I have joined as senior site reliability engineer, which is like an upgradation of your DevOps role. So I'm going to share all the projects that I used to work in my last company, and whatever projects I'm working on in my current company. I'm going to share all the details in, all the projects details in every aspect that is possible. I'm going to share in this course with you. So also, you should be knowing how to explain those projects in interviews. This is where I think, most of the people get stuck, that they're not able to explain things in interviews. Okay, and the interviewer is able to find it out that this person hasn't worked in this project, he's just saying it. So I think there's a way by which you should explain the projects that you're working on in an interview, so that you can convince the interviewer that yes, you have the real world experience. Okay, so I'm going to work on that as well. Also, where I'm working right now, I am part of the interview panel as well. So I take interviews on DevOps and SRE as well. So I know what
Good.
questions are actually asked. Yeah. So recently I hired one person in my team. So I took his interview. Okay. So in that way, I'll be able to give you some details of the questions that are currently asked in the interviews. So I'm going to share all that details with you. Okay. So this is about the course. Why this course is going to stand out as compared to other courses in the market. Next is what I'm going to teach you. I'm going to start with the very fundamentals of DevOps. What is DevOps and what is CI/CD, all that stuff I'm going to talk about. I'm going to also start with Linux OS administration a little bit, because I think we'll have some people who does not know much about Linux. So I'm going to start with Linux administration first. Then I'll cover AWS. So you can learn any cloud platform, but since I'm from AWS background, so I'm going to teach you AWS and not other clouds like Azure or GCP. But if you have experience working in one cloud, it is good enough to start any other cloud. Okay, because it's the same, only the terms are different, but the concepts are exactly the same in all the cloud platforms. Okay. Uh, so after AWS, I'm going to start with container runtime environments. So Docker or Containerd is what we use. Okay, Containerd is like the latest version of container runtime, but the concepts of containerization apply to both platforms. Okay, in the same way. So there's no difference in the concepts part. Only the terms have changed. Okay, so some people are using Containerd. For example, if you talk about one of the most famous services in AWS, that is EKS, if you heard about it, Elastic Kubernetes service, it uses containerd now. But earlier on, it used to use a Docker as the container runtime. Okay, but the concepts are still the same. Okay, so I'm going to cover this container runtime with you. Then I'm going to talk about container orchestration tool, which is Kubernetes, of course. So this is the tool that is used to manage thousands of containers at the same time in the most efficient way possible. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Kubernetes, all of its concepts, the core concepts, and how you actually use it in the real world. Okay, then in terms of SCM, the source code management, I'll be using GitLab as the repository, but you do have other platforms as well, like GitHub, which is the most common one, which is the one which people actually get started. But I'm going to cover, I'm going to use GitLab as my source code management tool, and all the things will be Git based, which means that I'll be using this Git CLI tool to interact with your source code management repositories. Then I'm going to talk about this continuous integration part as well. So once again, I'm going to be using GitLab CI as the platform. Okay, I'm going to give you all the details of what exactly it is, but I just want to run through this course curriculum. Okay, so for CI, we'll be using GitLab CI. For CD, which is continuous delivery or deployment. Okay, so there's a difference between continuous delivery and deployment, which I'm going to talk about in my course later on. So for CD platform, I'll be using Argo CD. Okay, so this is the tool, you can say, which is being used by a lot of organizations nowadays for CD part, continuous deployment part. Okay, in my current project also, we are using Argo CD as our deployment tool. Okay, so I'm going to cover all the concepts around Argo CD, how to use it in a CI/CD pipeline and stuff. Then one of the most important parts of DevOps or an SRE role, you can say, it's the continuous monitoring part, where you are able to continually monitor your application and your entire infrastructure to identify and detect any issues and troubleshoot it at earliest. Okay, so we'll be using the two modern tool combo, which is Prometheus and Grafana. And this is the same tool I'm using in my current organization. So I'll be talking about how it has been implemented in a real world project, how you can use to create different dashboards, the different alerts for your applications, and how you can integrate it well with your applications to continually monitor it and troubleshoot any issues that arises. Then I'm going to talk about shell scripting as well. So I'll be using Bash scripting. Okay, which is used to automate a little bit of task in the DevOps worlds. Okay, but I mean, it depends from company to company. In some companies, you would find very less number of scripts being used, but in some projects there will be a lot of automation scripts used. But whatever it is, I'm going to give you the basic introduction into shell scripting, how it is used, and what are some use cases of shell scripting in the DevOps world. Okay, then I'm going to talk about Terraform. So all the core concepts of Terraform and how you can use it once again in a real world scenario, how Terraform is used, how it is integrated into the CI/CD pipeline. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that. So this is going to be our infrastructure as code platform. Then I'm going to talk about some real world scenarios or the projects that I'm working on and how you can use to prepare for interviews. Okay, and then we'll be talking about some interview question and answers and resume building as well if required. Okay, so this is about the course curriculum.